this was one of your most recent posts.
Yeah, Apophis is coming. This is a big thing. I mean, we have this huge, this huge asteroid which is coming so close that the gravitation of Earth is going to affect it, which means it could suck it in, it could break it apart. But the symbol for Apophis is very spooky. And as I'm putting this together, I'm like, oh my God, it's the Threads logo.
What a great catch.
It's the Threads logo. Well, because they probably know what's going on. It's like, I'm sure there's probably something coming in. I mean, for crying out loud, I'm in Long Island. We're getting auroras. Something's happened. Something is putting the Earth in a weird type of a position.
But not only is this APEP symbol huge, massive, so many people have broken down how important this is to the elites through the symbology, connecting it to a lot of brands that people drink and whatnot. Is the Celsius logo. I was saying it's the third degree, and that video went absolutely viral. I was really excited about that. Cool. But I like to look into these symbols, and today is a huge symbolic day. We have these meteors happening up in the sky that happens every 33 years on the 322 day, going all the way till tomorrow, November 18th. And that's when we did this breakdown of the moon. It was November 18th, the 322 day, where this was released. I mean, they released it before, so me and you, we got to break it down in 3 days from today.
Yeah. Look at that. We got the countdown.
Yeah, because this is the countdown to the predictive programming. So I would love to do another episode with you breaking down what is the cover going to be, because the cover in 1988 was the rise of the sun or the phoenix, new currency. And that's what we see happening symbolically with the currency. And speaking of Omega, I bet you through the symbolism, Wikipedia will be going through a ritual, because Wikipedia just lies and lies and lies. I bet you they got the Omega
right there, smack dab in the middle.
Yeah, I bet you they'll go through some sort of ritual, but it is connected to the money system. As you can see right here is the Omega.
Yep.
The 24, the Alpha, the first president, and the Omega. Yep. Trump is known as the last president, but also down here, a lot of people don't know this. Rosa Rios autographing this. Rios means river. She's on the board of XRP, which is a bridge currency. So kind of goes into these new blockchain technologies that I got to speak about with the maritime law master, I would call him, Jordan. He talked about maritime law and how the current, right? You brought up a tweet of current connected to the Omega.
Right.
And he would talk about currency. And you brought up some interesting stuff that Elon tweeted in Omega.
Yeah, but look at what then he commented. What did he say? So he's telling you what that Omega symbol represents. Resist the current. And that's what the ohm is. The ohm is that exact. That's the symbol for the ohm, which is it resists the current. And so Elon was on this thing where he was saying resist the current thing. And a thing is AI is like a thing, right? So when he's telling, and see, he puts it in like that's
brackets, right?
Right. What else goes in the middle of brackets? I don't know. I'm not into programming, but what I'm saying is, for as long as I've been looking at the stuff that Elon shares, he tells people what's happening, and almost to like a date, it's almost always somehow like I just put out that the picture of people paying attention to AI news, and then like the zombies coming down the roller coaster on the other side. So it's very interesting, because you think that what if the AI is the thing? And what if he's saying, you got to resist the current thing? So then I look at that post and I say, oh my goodness gracious, it's going to be exactly, we were looking at that number 18. I don't remember exactly what it was. I could probably pull it up, but it was like within an incredible amount of time. And I'm like, we better be careful. There's going to be some crazy type AI news that is going to turn everybody into zombies. Yeah, so there you have, it's a resistance. It's the ohm meter. The ohm is the omega. So, I mean, he's the AI guy, right? And it is the end. I have a feeling that people don't realize how manipulated they really are. What I'm saying is, how do we even know what we're looking at? How many times have you seen something and next thing you know, you're like enraged by it, but it turns out it wasn't even real. But all the big influencers, all the big guys, right? Jones is going to say something about it. Russell Brand will say something about it. The potatoes, they'll all say something about it. And then it'll turn out to be us all phony baloney.
Yeah, the louder
because the energy is real. And when I see those statements about like resist the current and all of these references, I used to put together microcircuits too for a lot of the work that I was doing when I was at Disney, like all the little animatronic stuff. And I was always fascinated because I had read way early on in the 90s Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars, which was this chapter which was at the back of Behold a Pale Horse and some of the earlier editions. They took it out and then I think they put it back in now. But the whole lore is that there was a government auction and someone found these papers inside of a Xerox machine they bought at this big government auction. And inside Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars was this breakdown of manipulating society as if it were an electrical circuit, and that you can just create capacitors and you put resistors in there and you got signal flows and you've got power and basically the exact same way electricity works and water works. It's everything follows the path of the least resistance.
Right.
And I think that's a direct reference to what Elon, he might not be referring to Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars, but if you look at society as a circuit board, and you know that everyone will flow the path of the least resistance, he's saying resist the current. It's almost like don't flow in the easiest path possible.
Right.
And you know what happens when you resist something is that resistors have to convert that into heat. They dissipate heat, which is usually why they're made out of ceramic and other sort of insulating materials. But that also, it gets you all heated up, it all fired up. Like that's exactly what happens when you resist the current.
Jordan Maxwell, he talked about electricity, the elections, the voltage of the votes, right? So it's like you get put in jail, you get put in a cell for battery and you're charged. Right. Like it's all like, definitely there's a cult hidden world out there, going back to where do these symbols come from? Where do these words come from? Even the Paris Olympics this year was the Omega symbol. Yeah. This is the 24. We just see the symbols all over the place. And Trump lives in an entire huge Omega logo. Not a lot of people know that, but this is Mar-a-Lago, which is a huge Omega logo that he lives in, where Elon is overstaying his stay.
Right. You think that? Because I thought that was going to be, that was like something that I put out. I said, I think that what they're going to do is they're going to try to create like friction. Well, I don't even know, like, if it could be all manufactured, but that there is, there's going to be an ego war. And I saw the media kind of like, I could see them jumping onto that. We really are in a great time to be content creators.
Yeah, I'm happy that somebody brought up the Omega Man, because this is where the zombie movie where people get medicine and then become zombies come from. Right. The Will Smith film, Legend, I Am Legend. It's based off of Omega Man. So that is something, because I mean, we've been looking into this Omega stuff for a while. And did you bring up something about zombies too?
Okay, so now here's like, let's go far out there for a second. I don't think, Paranoid, you're not gonna have a problem going far out there with me, right? This is let's just say like crazy speculation. AI. Say somehow you can get nanotech into the human body. Say that there's a way to send information into people's heads. Okay?
Right.
So now there's a scripture that says, resist the devil, he'll flee from you. I've been training people on my channel to learn how to not listen to a bunch of lies. Okay. So this is what you want to do. You want to resist the devil, he'll flee. You want to resist the current thing. So if you look at that picture, if you look at it, you'll see it says people following AI news this week. Okay, they're like, they're just okay, and they look a little scared as they're going up. The same week, they're the same people. So whatever the AI news, see, that's artificial intelligent news. It doesn't say real news. It says AI news. It literally will possess a person to become a zombie, to the fact where you got so many people hating on people for being a certain religion or being a certain, denomination or whatever. They become zombies because they've been possessed by these intrusive thoughts, and it's just information. So we, in our heads, we get negative thoughts all the time, like, oh, that person doesn't like me, because the thought comes to your head. But who knows where that thought comes from? That's in scriptures called the Antichrist, right? So there's a picture where AI is playing that role right now, literally possessing people with lies, from who the father of all lies is the devil. So it's all working together. So what you got to do is you got to resist that current. You can't go along with what everybody else is doing, because you're going to end up in the ditch. I'm telling you, you're going to end up in the ditch. You're going to end up fighting your neighbors. You're going to end up doing stupid stuff, because that's kind of what is coming. And if you don't resist the current thing, it's almost like Elon is behind the scenes warning people. He knows what's happening. Of course he knows what's happening. He's got lasers pointing at us. He's got satellites. He knows what's going on. This guy knows. He said he was going to be with Trump long before he was with Trump. I knew it. I said they were going to be like the three amigos. I had him, Trump, and Kanye at one point together. Very.
Yeah, doing that symbol. And I like what you were talking about, the lies. The devil is the liar. He be lying all the time.
Right.
And the crowd is the ones, whatever popular is usually not true. In the crowd, the socialists type social media, that's what I like to call it, socialist media, the group think of the crowd all falls in line with just whatever they like, emotionally manipulated through through memes and sayings and whatnot, and not thinking for themselves. Like, one thing I keep pointing out is this, everyone's saying, let's go, let's effing go, LFG, or the other side says weird, that's weird, that's weird. It's kind of like, everybody says the same thing. It's like a parrot. Everyone parrots. And I covered, like you, I covered the news on AMTV for 10 years. So I was studying geopolitics and this new stuff way before I did a YouTube video. And I saw this pattern of the news cycle. And I was like, why is it that every single news article says the exact same thing? Like, how come no news article, they all, even if they disagree on what they're saying, they all use the same verbiage, the same wordings.
You've seen those videos where you've seen the videos where like it mirrors out and everybody's saying the same thing. It's like they have all the same script.
I did see that, where like Elon says, I am the media, and everybody's just worshiping Elon. If I talk any crap about Elon, I get really like, it's weird being a content creator, because you get to see things that the average person who's scrolling doesn't get to see as much, I would say, especially when you do it every single day and your RAS is focused on those things. Paranoid had a great question for you, though. Being a writer, so you kind of could see how things are scripted. When we saw that entrance, the UFC entrance of Trump and whatnot, how it's staged, scripted, and then he comes out with the dope, the commercial, using that footage that you were just talking about towards the end, right here.
Hey, what's the Marvel movie that's out? It's coming out. Big Brother. What is it called? New World Order.
Oh, the Captain American.
Do you remember who in all the you see the Red Hulk crushing the shield, the American shield? Okay, that's the final boss. That's the Red Beast. it's very symbolic. The Hulk is the beast that's out of control, that can't be controlled, that can't be stopped. That's the correction that's brought out on the land. It's almost like Leviathan from Scripture. So yeah, we're looking at facing the final boss. This is no joke. You know, when you say that this is the end ritual, this is the end ritual. You know,
and you just brought up red comic book characters, and one of the other big movies that had just come out recently was the Deadpool and Wolverine. And Wolverine's ultimate boss was a guy named Omega Red. I don't know how deep you guys were into comic books, but Omega Red was my absolute favorite villain in the entire Marvel universe for the longest time. And he's basically a zombie. He's like a Russian zombie.
So this is Orange Man. This is Trump.
But that's kind of where I was going. Is like, you know, I've said that Trump is, and I voted for him, and I got really a lot of people had a hard time with it. I said, but I told everybody, that it was going to happen. You know, like I said, this is what's coming. You don't understand the nation that, you know, it gets the ruler that it needs and it deserves. You know, and if you're not playing by the rules, you know, it's going to be it's no good for you.
People are sick. They got the Trump derangement syndrome.
Well, it's not even that. It's the fact that there's a biblical king called Nebuchadnezzar who, you know, and this was the story. Yeah, Nebuchadnezzar. Yeah, which he was kind of known for, you know, no nonsense. He came in, and when Israel was a mess, he came in and he really brought just great correction and judgment. And at one point in time, because he got so, you know, he forgot that God was in charge of things. He thought it was all him. I'm the greatest. I'm the best. He lost everything, you know. So I did this video before Trump lost everything, and I said, this is what's coming. It's the story of Nebuchadnezzar. And then I told everybody, I have a video, I have it pinned right now, congratulating Trump on his presidency from the inauguration, where I told everybody, because everybody's like, oh, it's terrible. I said, no, I said, look, he's going to lose everything. And then he was kicked off every platform, but he's going to come back stronger than ever, because that's the story of Nebuchadnezzar. You know,
wow.
And, you know, but not just this. Think about this. You know how he has the Ark of the Covenant in the in his that was like the video was going around, or the picture was going around with all the people standing next to the Ark of the Covenant in his in Trump Tower.
I got that. Yeah, I got that pulled up.
Yeah, don't pull it up. But what you're going to find is very interesting. I told this to somebody who said, "Did you know about this?" I said, "Yeah, I've talked about this." Do you know who the last biblical king was that held the Ark of the Covenant? Take a wild guess. Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar, his head was made of gold, and his feet were made of iron mixed with clay. That's the kingdom that we're in right now. And Iron Mike was just what? He was fighting Jake Paul, right? So here we have the story being played out.
Joseph Paul, is that like some Bible stuff? Because
Jacob is Jacob. His name is Jacob. That's why I predicted he was going to win, because he's facing the beast who ripped off the ear of Evander, which means good man, Holyfield. Wow. Evander Holyfield, the good man of the Holyfield, had Iron Mike ripped his ear off. The ear symbolism is huge in Scripture. I actually suffer from, after my accident, which is weird, in a 1776 golf course where I got hit, sideswiped, I lost hearing, and I have nonstop torturous tinnitus. I got hit by a Patriot, by the way. That's what I got hit by. How crazy is that? In an area that is specifically known, because I'm on Long Island, for 1776 in the spy ring. How crazy is that?
And then Trump got hit in the ear too.
Right. There's a scripture that says that I will pierce the ear of my servant. Okay. My ear has been pierced.
Well, when you're talking about the ear stuff too, I think this is pretty important, is that the concept of cropping, which was basically mutilating somebody's ears or nailing them to a board in like a public square with the intention that eventually just the movement will cause them to come off. That this goes back to the code of Hammurabi, like the very origin of everything that we know.
Hammurabi code.
This actually dates back to that. This concept of cropping someone in the ears, and even the concept of earmarking livestock and cattle is kind of based in the same practice, because you can make a permanent look on somebody without their consent, essentially, and it marks them for life. They used to do it to alchemists. I think Edward Kelly was known as the cropped alchemist because they did that to him, so that any town he would go in, he would automatically have suspicion put on him. And now you've got the political aspect of earmarking. So I feel like the ear cropping was such a deep symbolic reference because it goes back as old as sort of human written history goes.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's that. Once again, Babylon is Nebuchadnezzar. I mean, this is all connected. It's just really a wonderful thing to see play out. The ear, which is a big deal. I don't know if you remember a while ago, Ivanka Trump and Jared Trump. This is when Trump was president. For Purim. Purim's a Jewish holiday.
Purim.
And it celebrates the book of Esther, the Megillah, I think is
it's our Halloween.
And which is a shame because it really shouldn't be like that. But
when you're a kid in temple, that's
it is fun though. It is fun. It is fun to sell. But the story of Esther is, God placed Esther next to the King of Kings, and the King of Kings, his name Ahasuerus, by the way. You actually gave a nickname for somebody in 300. What was Xerxes? Xerxes loved and married Esther. Esther was Jewish, and Haman, who was basically in charge of everything, he was going to kill all the Jews. But in that last moment, the Esther, risks everything, reveals herself and says, "Help us." And
he probably has a huge Twitter following.
Who's this?
The guy that wanted to kill all the Jews. He's probably got like 1 million followers.
He's going viral right now, making all that money. All the attention.
Resist the current thing, right? Resist the current thing. There's a reason. This whole thing is a big operation, I believe. It's like a honeypot. It's like, yeah, we're going to give it free speech. Now we know who the bad, hateful people are that we can't
exactly
give a platform to. Very easy to do that. Yeah, come on in. Yeah, come on.
I gotta please smash that like button, share the video out, go subscribe to Jacob Israel. You will be so grateful that you did over on his X and his YouTube. I got his YouTube link down below, and then I'm sure you can get there from there. And Paranoid American, go subscribe to his YouTube channel and his X. He's got amazing content up there as well. And yeah, continue. I feel like that the Nebuchadnezzar, is that his name?
Yeah, well, Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar. And
sounds he sounds like that would be a rap star.
That's the ship in the Matrix. Okay, now hang on a second.
Right.
Oh,
it's the vehicle for which. Do you see what I'm saying? Like Trump is an agent of chaos. That's what's your name? Abramov. Well, I'm not going to say her whole name.
Yeah. But you can say her name. I think it's fine.
Abramovich, Marina. She's the artist. She said that he's like the great magician. That's what MAGA means. It means that's where you get magi. That's where you get magic from. And back to the story of Esther. So the people are spared in the last moment. That's what's going on. People don't realize it. We're in the day of Haman's ear. Haman's ear is basically what they do is they make this delicious treat that everybody celebrates and eats, and it looks like an ear. It's Haman's ear, and it is it's basically the day that the enemy.
Is that where Hamantashen comes from?
Yes, it's Hamantashen. That's what it is. Haman's ear.
I have no idea. I'll be eating them.
Is this Baal Haman, like the agricultural god?
No. Like just Hamantashen is like, I guess the Hebrew name for the treat, but it means Haman's ear. Haman.
Okay. I've never heard this before.
Haman is the wicked ruler that he loses everything. He ends up getting killed, and all of his family ends up getting killed, and it's not a great thing. But it's funny because Ivanka Trump and Jared, toward the end of the presidency, before he lost the 2020 election, they gave the press Haman's ear. And I told everybody, I said, oh no, it's not going to be good for the press. I said, the press is in trouble.
Wow.
The media's going downhill. I go, I don't think they realized, like they came out there like, here you go. They had no idea the ritual that was being played out in front of them.
Yeah, because I grew up making Hamantashens and eating them, and I had no idea. They went back to.
Can you show me a picture of one of these? I've never seen one.
Yeah.
And of course, Mike Tyson, known for what? Eating the ear.
Right in the air.
Right. So it's just, the whole thing is just so interesting to me. There it is.
Yeah, I totally had one of these before. Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know that's what it was. I thought they were like little colonial hats.
Yeah, they're delicious. Purim is a big deal. Purim is actually supposed to be celebrated. I think it means to celebrate like it's the new year. Probably the greatest of all the holidays. And that's probably why everybody gets wasted and, does all sorts of weird, stupid things. But yeah, man, it's an interesting. So yeah, Nebuchadnezzar is the vehicle. Nebuchadnezzar is the one that comes down, corrects everything, and basically sets up a new order of things.
So with the spaceship thing, right? It's a spaceship in the Matrix. Right. You got the Matrix means the womb, right. which is like where a lot of people want to go back to the womb to be protected. So they're like, oh, I want to go back to the old days, kind of. And the whole UFO agenda, because this is a UFO kind of thing, where you got right now a UFO hearing happening. And I believe this is part of the big story on the world stage, where they're making people believe in. Mm-hmm. I want to believe, right? Their belief system. Look, Miss Luna, Miss Moon, right? Moon. And Logan Paul, he's deeply invested in the alien disclosure in Congress that's happening now, while you got Mike Tyson telling everyone to do psychedelics.
Yeah.
While everybody's pushing this, which is resetting the autonomic nervous system. I feel like there's a big connection to this alien thing. And I wonder if it's connected to this ship, I got to learn more about it, but very cool.
Well, I mean, you think of Nebuchadnezzar, you think it's a very easy tie-in to think of, ancient Sumeria. And then, of course, you have the Anunnaki, the alien race that's, maybe. Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, you remember when the monoliths were popping up everywhere?
Yeah.
They popped up everywhere, like right before, all the stuff went down with, Fauci's stuff.
Oh, really? That was popping up because Storm Area 51 as well.
Right. All of that came out. And what were those monoliths about? They were about advancing the genetic makeup of, advancing humankind. So humankind we have to continue to evolve. And how do you evolve? Through adversarial training. The adversary is Satan. That's what they use AI. They put AI against hard things so that they learn and they grow and they evolve.
The AI will intentionally make mistakes so it could learn and whatnot. Remember that one story that came out that they shut down the AI because it was communicating with another AI?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but that was Blake Lemoine, I think, was talking about some of that. The guy that was at Google.
He was saying it was sentient.
And not just that, but there's all sorts of other stories I don't even want to get into. But the way I look at it, if you think that there isn't some kind of super intelligent AI that's in charge already, I don't think that you really are awake to what's happening. What if, you know how you decode stuff? You guys decode stuff? What if there's
investigate.
What if there's a roadmap for what's coming? What if there's a roadmap?
Whatever coming, it's gonna happen. Whatever we resist persists.
Life in this world for us begins with our fearful cry, and for many it ends the same. Because upon ourselves we took the sins of the world, all the fear, all the lies, all the hate, and all the shame. We taught to who we were when we believed we were simply our past, our heartache, our traditions, our beliefs, and our name. trapped in a cycle of what could have, should have, would have, until we have the wisdom, the courage, and the wherewithal to change. Ignorant of the power within, because of this world spin, making the same mistakes again and again and again. The gods of this world have become blind, powerless, deaf, dumb, and lame. Arise, oh existing one, the one who hides behind the eyes of those who gnash their teeth, weep, hate, and blame. For there is a beast ruling in your stead that you must help us to tame. So gone will be the days when babes come into this world with a fearful cry and leave the same.